Hello, everyone! Happy Saturday! Welcome to another episode of Go West, our Pulp Cthulhu campaign. I am Simon at Wandering DM, and I will be playing George Brooke, the Deputy. With me are the returning two players that'll make up the core, I think, of our Season 2 cast until we get some new players in the coming weeks. And I will start with the town's doctor. Who are you and who are you playing?
I'm Scott. I'll be playing Dr. Drake Anders, the town's resident doctor, the better doctor. I think the label is it gets applied more often than not. So,
And then moving on to the town's preacher man.
So I want to start this off by saying that your name is not George Brooke.
Thank you.
That's right. Anyway, my name's Quentin in real life, at Thragon on Twitter. And today I'm going to be playing Father Boris Makarov. Still surprised he's alive, so let's keep that going.
Robert Stone. I forgot to change the overlay. And last but not least, our keeper for this game, Deirdre, take us away.
Well, good afternoon, y'all. Welcome back to Four Corners and the wonderful things that happen there. All of the interesting things. Yet last time we discovered that Maisie was missing and that there were some signs of violence left in her room. Or more accurately, a bloody handprint, but not much else. Our deputy decided he had to go find his sweetheart and managed to find some tracks around and was searching diligently for her. Our doctor recruit managed to get our priest up and join in the search for Maisie. Priest managed to get some mail, minor things from home, not real important to nobody else. Same time, Maisie, being the resourceful and industrious individual that she was, didn't wait on anyone to rescue her and found herself waking up in a feed shed behind the saloon when where she found that her palm was a mite damaged and would require some attention of a medical professional, even if that medical professional had been imbibing some alcohol a short while earlier. They returned to the scene of the crime, as it were, after some minor medical treatments, and discovered some interesting things going on in Maisie's bedroom. Our dear deputy, Robert Stone, decided he was going to utilize a small item that he had found in the personal effects of one Jane Langley, a small book, you might call it. And they discovered some interesting symbols carved onto the walls and the corners of Maisie's bedroom. And that's, well, about where we left things off. So the question then becomes, gentlemen, what do you do now? As the afternoon begins to fade and the shadows grow long. It's definitely turned to autumn now. It's much colder in the air. If you were looking at a calendar, you'd realize it's October 29th.
Are we still in Macy's room, like examining the four corners?
Yep, you are there at the moment. The deputy has just ascertained that found each of those symbols in the book he was holding with acting as a starting illuminated symbol on 4 individual pages. He found them in chronological order to the southeast, the northwest, the northeast, and then the southwest, matching the corners versus the chronological order of the book. And there's a figure of illumination at the bottom of the last page on the southwest page of a staircase with a large gate chained at the top. Our deputy has also ascertained that the location of that staircase, or at least based on his recollection of where that vision was or that transportation, still not 100% sure which one of those actually happened, would have put the bottom of that staircase in front of the, well, jail.
Where we were teleported before.
Maybe. Unless it was some other staircase at the middle of the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Although, wait, when we got teleported, didn't Jane say we were in the past or something? The staircase was there.
No, we were 3,500 years before the founding of the first town, not Four Corners, but whatever town was established before Four Corners.
Was it that far back?
Something like that. There wasn't a
Okay.
town there.
Yeah, we were in the complete desert. Well then,
Do you think that perhaps we should deface these symbols?
I sure think so. I wouldn't want to leave anything unnatural like in Maisie's bedroom.
Do you have a knife on you, George?
I do, actually.
I appear to be short on knives in my inventory as I'm looking.
You're not always armed, Father?
I am armed with my faith.
Then let your faith deface the symbols.
I'll just take my cross and start gouging at them. Yeah. George, will you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take my knife and I will deface the symbols.
Is there a particular order? Are you doing this all at once? What's going on?
Well, I can't do them all at once. If they're in each corner.
So, were you able to determine what they are? Like what they mean?
No.
Okay, so we just found them in your book and they just match.
I need to read the book in detail, which everyone has been saying, no, don't do it.
I mean, you do you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. It's, you want to read. No harm ever came from reading a book.
Very much harm has come from reading books, Doctor.
Well, I'm going to deface the symbol of the staircase first.
So the southwest corner.
Yep.
Because it's not the staircase itself, it's the page where the staircase was.
Oh, okay.
So if you had like an illuminated manuscript, the symbol in the southwest corner is the first illuminated symbol at the top of the page, and at the bottom of the page is this image of the staircase with the gate at the top that's got a chain through it and a figure in a robe of some sort with a large key in their hand. Is along the bottom of that page.
Yeah, I
So
had it.
southwest.
I have them in my notes here. Yep.
Okay.
I made
So
a stick figure drawing.
So southwest first. Could you just roll me a dex?
Sure.
He's actually going to fan the hammer on all the symbols.
What? Why? Yeah, that's a
Why
success.
not?
Because I'm not about to shoot my gun in Maisie's bedroom.
You're not going to wreck your girlfriend's walls? Come on.
So how are you doing this?
I think I'll just take my my knife and I'm carving in the boards and just scratching away at it, trying to just to deface it, to maybe scratch away half of the drawing.
as you go through and do this, you see something a little odd to your eye, sir. You see, as we said, that when you first noticed them, that they were wet. It looked like they had flesh and blood on them. As you carve into this symbol, it seems almost to stop bleeding. Oozing slowly out, the color of red, fresh blood.
That ain't normal.
Doctor, is this literal blood?
And I'll observe the liquid coming from the walls. Assuming this is blood.
Come on, red paint.
Yeah, well, two things as this happens. Number one, could you roll me a sanity check?
Nope. Nope. Yeah.
Well, both of
Everybody,
you.
Apparently
The
I have
walls
to
are
do.
bleeding.
Thanks, Simon, for the walls to be bleeding.
Ah.
Oh, that's a huge fail for me. Ouch.
All right, how much do I lose again?
Oh,
Well-
we all failed that one.
You do. Y'all are only going to lose about 2 sanity because, you've seen weirder shit, but the walls are bleeding.
All right, I'm gonna
Father-
be resilient.
You can be resilient.
Yeah, I'm gonna burn the luck on this. It'll be fine.
Oh, by the way, because apparently I can't remember to do this after games because we get so distracted or people are stalking our deputy in the night. Go ahead and give yourselves 15 luck because we didn't do it last time either.
Well, then I will just cap myself back at 99.
Okay, well that works. You lose 2 sanity. Father, this looks a little odd to your eye because now it looks like almost like the stigmata.
Somebody should probably check on Maisie and make sure she's okay.
Maisie is standing out in the middle of this room, very disconcerted, and when this started happening, she walked out the door. She's not as okay as she wanted, but I'm not gonna roll sanity. I'm not gonna roll her sanity when she's not here. That just doesn't seem fair to her. I'll make her do it later.
gosh, is there
Do you wanna continue?
Well, yeah, stigmata, yes, but is there some kind of like role, like a cult or something? Because this doesn't seem like a good thing. Maybe like a mockery of it.
You can if you want. The cult is where religion ends up in this system. Do you wish to continue defacing these symbols, deputy?
If nobody says anything, I'll take my knife and I'll try.
I would say go ahead and do the next one. I mean, the doctor's not going to say anything. Again, this is not the weirdest shit we've ever seen. So
Before I do anything, I'll ask out loud, Maisie, are you alright?
For a given value of all right, I'm just gonna stay out here. It's a little much to see my walls bleed.
Okay, but what I'm doing ain't hurting you none. Is it?
No, it's not causing her any physical damage.
Okay, so I'll take the knife and I'll plunge it as deep as I can inside the symbol. I want to see if more blood's gonna come out of it. Like if the building itself is like full of blood or if it was just...
The symbol
Sure.
itself.
remember that scene
I'm
in
trying to
Shining?
turn seepage into gushing.
I've
Yeah,
seen
like-
this in a horror movie before.
the scene in The Shining where the elevator's open and
Mm-hmm.
Well, that requires a hatchet. But as you drive your knife into it, it just seems to be weeping. It doesn't seem to be gushing blood. And again, Father, with that occult roll success, it's very similar to a stigmata in the sense that it's continuously flowing but not gushing blood. And it, in a general sense, and Robert, you would have noticed when you took your knife and went from scratching at it to stabbing at it, there's no blood on your knife.
But is there blood running down
Oh, there's blood running down the wall and onto the floor.
onto the floor? Okay.
I mean, it's going from the baseboard where the carving is to onto the wood floor.
Is it running in any particular pattern, or is it just naturally running down like a?
Well, right now it just looks like gravity.
Okay.
If you want to look at anything else, you're gonna have to roll that spot hidden for me.
I will certainly do that. You know what? I'll spend the 8 luck.
Looking at it, you notice that as he does so, the handprint that you noticed was mathematically centered on this wall in this floor seems to be getting less bright. And less noticeable.
At that point, I'll go over to the other symbol, pull out my Bowie knife, and start to deface that one.
Which one?
Let's see. You started southwest, so assuming we're gonna go clockwise, would be northeast.
Okay.
Southwest. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going backwards in the yeah.
Yeah.
So
just to face that one.
again, it starts bleeding out, flowing down. Things are eerily quiet, almost like you can't even hear the sounds of the street. You can't hear horses flowing anywhere. But things begin to continue as they were, and you'll notice again that that handprint in the center of the room is getting fading.
Then I'll move on to the third symbol.
Northwest?
Which one did you do, Scott?
It's the northeast one that I did.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do northwest.
Again, starts bleeding and flowing. And you'll notice that there's almost a little bit more blood here than there was last time, but not a whole lot. Just seems to be moving a little bit quicker. And the handprint in the middle of the floor is fading a mite faster.
And I'll move over to the fourth one.
Again, same thing. The blood flowing down. The handprint in the middle of the floor fading. And the minute you pull your knife away from the final stroke on this carved symbol, you would all see this kind of flash of not light, but lightning. That bright green lightning that you'd seen before. Almost backwards, as if it wasn't coming from the ground to the earth, but from the earth up to the air. And then sunlight, soft, warm, flowing through the windows, a breeze in the air, scent of, Four Corners itself, and you feel and hear things begin to continue and sound return to yourself.
I think we just did a good thing.
Yes, I think that while Maisie may not want to stay in here in the present, it may have been cleansed from her room.
I'm gonna spend the night in my parents' room.
It is probably for the best. Sometimes it does take evil some time to abdicate from a residence.
Mm-hmm. Well then.
Thank you all for that. I appreciate it. I'm feeling a mite tired. I'm gonna just lie down. I'm just gonna lie down.
Are you sure you want to lie down here, Maisie?
Can I just do a quick check, like under her bed?
Sure. Well, she's not gonna lie down here. She's gonna lie down in her parents' room.
Okay, she's gonna go to her.
Well, her parents' old room. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you want
same building but different room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought she was leaving town to go to her parents on the outskirts.
she's
Okay.
staying in town. So you're checking under her bed, sir?
Yeah,
Want to roll me that spot hidden?
not really, but I'll burn 4 luck.
Again, Maisie's a very fastidious individual. There is, however, a revolver kind of holstered in the bed frame. Easy grab so that she could pull it out if she needed to, with Susie remaining mostly downstairs under the counter of the store. There doesn't appear to be anything under her bed. Very clean. You know, nothing there.
It appears it is okay now. Should we search the rest of the house just to be sure?
That's probably not a terrible idea there, Father. Robert, you think?
Well, we can't know if anyone did anything else to the house, and if Maisie, you want to sleep into your parents' old room, well, maybe we should take a look in there first.
Appreciate that. And she's still holding the key that you gave her on the keychain she put it on.
Where'd this
Seemed
key
I
come
found
from? Oh, that's right, George's room key. Okay.
Yeah, to the
There's a stray kitten somewhere in the.
Sounds like he's trapped in a well.
Well, I wasn't gonna say anything, but there was a kind of cat that we used to let hang out in the back storeroom for a while, and sometimes they still get in there.
I go to
All
the
right.
other room.
Yeah,
take a
we'll
look.
go to her parents' room.
There's nothing obvious when you open the door. There's no marks on the door itself, and again, there's no giant handprint in there. It's clean and airy, but a little dated itself in its furniture choices, and the bedspread looks like it, well, a little older design and pattern. Probably was looks like a quilt that maybe her mama made a while ago. Everything's clean in here, though. Doesn't look like Maisie lets much dust stay around here. Anything else, you're gonna have to roll that spot hidden on.
Yep. I'm gonna burn the 2 luck.
We're rolling so bad.
Because
Yep.
at this point, I'm the closest to succeeding, so yeah, I'll burn the 2 luck for it.
Looking around, and you kind of know what to look for now, basing it on what was in her room. There aren't anything engraved on the walls. There isn't anything on the floor. Looking at the door itself and the rest of this room, even though it's clean, there's still like a fine, that layer of dust of disuse. It's like, yes, this room gets cleaned, but maybe every once a week or so when things get shaken out. So it doesn't look like there's been anybody in this room in a couple of days at least.
Well, then, the way's clear.
And she's rubbing at her hand where it's been stitched. Remembering, of course, that she's probably tired, in pain, woke up in a feed shed, bleeding in a feed shed, and then had a couple shots and probably a dose of laudanum since then. She's a little tired at the moment. And while the stress of everything going on is affecting her, she definitely wants to be relaxing and lying down.
So, from the vision I had received, there was, of course, the shadow we all saw, but there was also a human figure who took Macy down the stairs and onto the horse. Who would we suspect? It has to be someone in town.
Are you saying this in front of Maisie?
Yeah, probably in front of the group.
Don't remember anything.
The last person you remember talking to, who was that again?
Geraldine. We met for dinner, and then I came home and I locked up and I went up to bed, and everything that after that is just black.
Wait. Last time we spoke about locking up the store, you had mentioned that only 2 other people in town had access to the key.
Yeah, my daddy and Uncle Bruce.
And none of the doors seem to have been forced.
Nope. The front door was still locked when you got here and closed.
But the back
And
door
the back
wasn't
door-
locked.
Is
Back
it
door was-
possible that someone might have gotten the key from Mr. Taggart?
We'd ought to
Mis-
check with Mr. Taggart.
Mr. Taggart may have more to do with this than we give him credit for. The booze is very suspicious from very early on.
Well, the booze, I believe we tied back to the Bradfords. Is it possible they might have been able to get a key?
I don't know why. I mean, Deanie knows she can come in here anytime she wants.
But she'd have to knock like everybody else because she doesn't have a key.
Of course.
I think Deanie might just be a pawn in a bigger game.
We could always ask Deanie what she remembers. Maybe she saw someone suspicious lurking about the house.
Okay, I'm sure if you think that's best.
Is she still in town, or did she go back to the ranch?
No, she's still in town. She's teaching. It's a school day.
Sorry, all the days, sometimes they run together.
Lack of sleep will do that to you.
It seems we get less and less of it these days.
I don't know what you're talking about, says the guy with 20 sanity. I'm fine.
No. Well, let me rephrase that. No, actually, she would be teaching. But she's probably still in town. It's a Saturday.
I think the three of us can handle talking to Miss Bradford. You should probably go lay down. Get some rest.
Are you sure?
It's probably for the best right now. Robert, what do you think?
I agree. If you're not feeling well, Maisie, we can handle whatever whatever our next step is going to be.
All right. And before she leaves, she reaches out and grabs Robert's hand.
Nah, squeeze her hand a bit. Well, not the bandage hand, I hope.
No, the left hand.
Okay,
She
good.
grabs-
I squeeze
Power
her hand.
squeeze.
I'm not that mean.
Yeah, I squeeze
she
her hand a
said-
bit.
Don't read that book. Promise me.
I promise.
And she'll squeeze her hand and then just walk into her parents' room and close the door. What are y'all gonna do?
Track down, what's her name? Geraldine.
Geraldine?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. By this time, it's getting near afternoon, probably closer to 4 or 5 o'clock. Where would you like to start looking for her?
Where does she normally stay when she's teaching? At the
She has a
schoolhouse,
small-
or?
She has a small bedroom lean-to built onto the edge of the schoolhouse, yeah?
Go there.
Alright, so you're headed to the schoolhouse. Are you going to do anything about the doors to the general store before you leave?
Lock them on our way out.
Can I...
Since Macy's not like conscious to run the store, might as well lock up, I guess.
Yeah, here's the thing. If we want to lock up on our way out, one of us needs to have a key.
No, I'm sure Macy will be fine locked in there.
I mean,
No, how are you going to lock the door?
Oh. All right, we'll lock the door, and then the doctor will climb through a window on his way out.
Miss Coldwater, do you mind if I take a copy of the key? Or
She kind of looks at you for a second, kind of blushes a little bit and pulls her key ring of keys out, and she undoes it and hands you one. Well, this is to the front door.
that's fine. It's just so that we can lock up on our way out. And don't worry, I'm not the type of person to come in unannounced or uninvited.
Oh, I know you're not, Robert. I trust you with it. So you're headed over to the schoolhouse,
Yes.
Alright, so crossing the street into the schoolhouse. You walk over to the school. The school itself is open. I mean, it's not really like anybody's gonna try and break into a schoolhouse, and but it's clean, bright, airy, with desks that roll into each other and connect with large wrought iron and wood tops. These are actually really nice for the period and for the place. Any of y'all seen the original Anna Green Gables miniseries?
I've heard
Yes.
of it, but I might have seen like excerpts from time to time.
Okay, yep. Sorry, I'm a nerd. It's fine.
Do we see Anne with an E on the board, or?
No, there is not Anne with an E on the board, but there is what's his name? The boy's name. I'll come to me. You see a small drawing of a little boy with a book next to with a book kind of floating over his head, like it was about to hit him in the head.
By the way, speaking of hitting people in the head, Deirdre, you have 2 curses given to you by KY Hawkeye.
Thank you, Hawkeye.
Doesn't she still have one from like last session?
No, technically I did use that one.
Oh, okay. So that's 2.
I did use it. It's fine. That's fun. I'll hold on to that. That's gonna be fun. You had a question, Father.
No, but the guy's name was Gabriel, right? Ben?
Gabriel, yes.
That's right. Okay,
Gabriel.
I'm sorry.
You see a picture. You see a little picture of this little boy, and it says Gabriel on it, and with a book like hitting him in the head. Sorry, I'm a nerd.
Schoolhouse.
So you're walking inside. What are you gonna do?
Hello, Mrs. Bradford. Are you here?
And a door kind of creaks open, and you see Geraldine walk out. No, Father, are you looking for my sister?
Apologies. I was looking for you.
Oh. Well, no. Okay. Can I help you with something? And she's standing there in this bright white or blue, sky blue dress with white polka dots and a white lace collar. Her blonde hair kind of pulled back, but not up.
Yes.
Can I help?
We have a couple of questions about last night when you had dinner with Maisie.
Yeah. We were having ourselves a good time. I was checking on her after all the hubbub the other night. Is everything okay?
Did you notice anything suspicious?
Not really suspicious. Is there something wrong?
Yes. Macy was attacked last night in her room.
Oh my God, is she okay?
She is fine. We were able to tend to her. She has a small cut on her hand. Everything is fine.
Is she okay? And she's like reached out and grabbed onto your hand.
Yes.
And you can see her hyperventilating almost at this.
Yes, she is fine. She is okay. She has a small cut on her hand. That is all.
Doctor, is she gonna be okay? Is she all right?
Should be quite all right. I've taken care of.
Oh,
everything.
I should go over there right now. I should go over there right.
Well, actually, Miss Coldwater's resting under doctor's.
Of course.
Exactly.
Yes, of course. You asked. We had questions. I'm sorry. I'm so. What's wrong? How can I help? What can I do to be helpful?
You were the last person she talked to. Not that we suspect you of foul play, but we
I should
were
certainly hope not.
We were just curious if anything at all was. Did she talk to anybody during dinner? Was there anyone around at all?
I mean, it was just me and her, and I went over there, and I brought over a picnic basket, and I had gotten a good. Miss Nellie Connors had made us a peach cobbler because she's moving out tonight, and she was supposed to be leaving earlier today, and so I managed to convince Miss Nellie that we could have one of her last pies, and I mean it's a really good pie, and I know that Maisie really likes it, so is everything okay?
Everything is fine, Miss Marsden.
Are you look a little stressed. Are y'all okay? I mean, I should actually get over there.
Perhaps later you could pay her a visit, and she'd probably like that. But for right now, we just wanted to find out what we can.
I mean, when I left, everything was fine. I saw Miss Nellie walking home, and she was taking her evening constitutional, as she does. And then I walked back into the schoolhouse and didn't hear much of anything. Sorry.
Didn't see anybody else around the general store or anyone suspicious like?
The only person I saw other than Miss Nellie was Deputy Reed. but he was doing his rounds as usual, and I saw him. He was down by the livery stable.
I'll turn to the group and well, we can ask Reed what he saw, if he saw anything suspicious.
Although, I think it is worth a shot.
Are you sure Maisie's all right?
She is. She is. Don't you worry none. She's getting some rest.
All right. And she'll kind of look a little, take a hot second to look at the deputy for a minute. And then just turn back to the priest and ask, anything else I can help you with? I want to make sure Maisie's all right.
The best thing we could do for Macy is let her sleep, I believe. She had a very long night.
All right. If you think so.
And if you happen to remember anything that may not be top of mind right now, just let us know, okay?
But of course, Doctor.
We will be sure to send her to you when she wakes up.
Oh, that'll be good. Oh, I'm so sorry, Doctor. In all the commotion, I totally forgot. One moment, please. And she steps away from the door into her room. She has not invited you into her space, by the way, gentlemen. She's having this conversation in the schoolhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gone for a couple moments. You hear some rustling around, and then she comes back out, and she goes, has a package wrapped in brown paper and twine, and she hands it over to the doctor. I haven't had an opportunity to get over and actually be properly introduced to your dear sister, but I wanted to give her a welcoming gift, and so this is just a little something from me, and to welcome her to the town.
Well, thank you. I'll make sure that Isabel receives this, and I'll make sure that she stops by with the children to properly introduce herself.
Oh, I'm quite looking forward to having them. I'm sure they'll be absolutely delightful.
I'm certain they will be. They're wonderful children.
Are you sure Macy's all right?
She is. She's going to be fine. Now, I would advise you be careful if you're going to walk about the town after dark. Just until, if anything, just in case, make sure that you lock up the doors and bar the windows at night. And, well, we'll let everybody know once we've apprehended the, whoever villain tried to do harm to Miss Coldwater. Why do I put an S after it?
I'm sure you will, Deputy. Anything else I can help you with, gentlemen?
No, we thank you for taking time out of your day to answer these questions. We would very much like to find out what happened to Macy.
All right, then. Okay, I won't keep you. I'm going to go see about making up something nice for dinner for her then tonight. Is there anything I should do in particular, Doctor?
No, I don't think so. Just whichever you'd prefer.
Chicken soup it is. Well, gentlemen, and she gives you all a slight curtsy and just kind of leaves you alone in the schoolhouse and goes back to her quarters and closes the door.
I'll tip my hat to her.
Well, Robert and Doctor, I suppose we go check with the other deputy to see if he saw anything. There were... When you were tracking the horse tracks, Robert, there were multiple, weren't there?
Yeah, and
Somebody should have saw something or heard something.
I don't think horses can be that stealthy at night.
Yes. Let us
Alright.
go check with the other deputy.
Reed might have heard someone.
We got to track him down.
I mean, at this time of day, it's real easy to find Edmund Reed.
Yeah, isn't he?
He's sleeping.
Asleep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You know
getting
how
closer
he
to
enjoys.
5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night. He might be starting to wake up, but yeah, I mean, he works night shifts.
Oh well, sucks to be him. Hey, Reed. Reed.
It takes a minute, two, and then there's a crash on the floor and a loud swear that you hear through the door that does not sound like Edmund at all. And then another,
He's practicing ventriloquism.
then you hear the door open and you see Edmund's face kind of lean out. Looks barely awake. He's got a shirt on and a pair of slacks, but that's about it. Or like an undershirt, like a tank top. What's wrong now?
Hi, Edmund. We, something happened last night when you were on patrol, and, well, I have
Nothing.
a couple... Miss Coldwater was abducted.
What? And you see his face just entirely change. His entire demeanor, his action changes. That kind of awake in a minute
Mm-hmm.
kind of action.
We found her this morning. She, was resourceful enough, and she freed herself from her captor's imprisonment.
Give me 3 minutes. I'll be at the jail in 10 or 5.
Want
And
me
he
to-
shuts the door in their face.
Do you want me to put some coffee on the fire for you and Thomas?
And the door opens again. Did you want Thomas to come?
Well, I'm sure he did plenty of that last night, but...
I don't comment about your life. And the door slams shut in his face. In your face.
Let's go to the jail.
Yeah, we'll wait for him there.
I love my coworkers.
You don't open the door not expecting to go through it.
I mean, I don't. Not in this channel, not in this group of friends. I love you all. But it literally maybe 3-4 minutes after y'all get to the jail, Edmund strides in again, immaculately dressed. He definitely has a very more urban styling and fashion of his design, his cut of his coat, and he wears a full cravat every day, and you can definitely see the 2 guns that he's got holstered, and he's carrying a shotgun. And he walks in. I'm assuming you didn't actually need Thomas's attention for this.
No, we don't. I was just poking a little fun at you.
I figured.
You don't need
You're
to
really-
be so armed, Edmund. We, things are somewhat resolved. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about what you might have seen last night. We found tracks of horses going about the general store.
didn't see any horses around the general store last night. There were a couple hitched in front of Lady Goodnight's all night, but that's not abnormal.
It ain't, but it doesn't change the fact that someone on horseback took Maisie from her bedroom. That was signs of struggle, and then out of character, do we know she was in the feed shed outside of the saloon? Okay.
She told you.
Yeah, I just didn't remember.
And she told you that somebody had put barrels in front of the door to try and lock it in. But everybody knows that there's no lock on that door. So
I'll relate that information to Edmund. That she was found she found herself in a feed shed behind Taggart's saloon. And she freed herself pushing on the door. Someone put a couple of barrels to try to keep it shut.
That's very odd. No one... I mean, everyone knows that door isn't locked. Were they expecting her to be unconscious for an extended period of time?
I think it might just have been that.
Then whoever took her will probably try again.
Might. Or it might that they tried to kidnap someone else in town.
We should be more aware. I apologize. I feel like I failed in some manner. I did not notice any horses. I would have noticed. I did not see any. There were no horses to be seen except in front of Lady Goodnight's. I saw Maisie return to lock up the store after Miss Marsden had left. I saw Miss Nellie Connors taking her evening constitutional. I greeted her as was appropriate. Miss Connors seemed as her usual self. I had a couple drunks try and, make nuisances of themselves to Mr. Taggart, but when I offered to deal with it, Mr. Taggart said that there was nothing that he would deal with it, and there was no problem or need for my involvement.
I have a question.
And they passed out.
Edmund, when you do your rounds at night, do you always take the same route about town?
No. I covered the same locations, but I'd never take the same route twice in a row. There might be a pattern, I'm not going to deny. There's patterns to everything, but I am not new at my job.
No, it's just I'm thinking, while you were out, maybe where this, and Simon would need to have, can you put up the map on Roll20?
Mm-hmm. I can do that.
So maybe when you were near the saloon or something, or even looking at the, past the church. I don't know what the name of those, 4 houses are east of the church.
Yeah, they're just houses.
They're just houses? So while you're looking at these houses east of the church, and I'm gonna say east because I don't know at this point
that is laid out. The cardinal north is the church.
Okay, good. So east of the church, someone could have taken that time to go to Coldwater Sundries and abducted Miss Coldwater, since you were far away, and they made away in the night without you hearing anything or seeing anything because you were outside of town. So it means that it would have, outside of town, farther away from the general store, which means that these people might have been watching out for you.
The only gentleman I've seen watching anybody is that Billows fellow, and he's been watching the priest like nobody's business. I've yet to find a reason to arrest him, but he is a... Would this be cause, do you think?
Could be, or it could be that the drunkards at Taggart's made a diversion. They might have been in league with whoever did that to Maisie.
Well, all I can tell you is that Taggart decided to deal with that himself. Offered them another drink and they settled down for a while.
But they kept you busy for a good couple of minutes.
Probably this is not untrue.
And I'm not saying you're doing a poor job. It's far from me for to insult your character or your talent, Mr. Reed. I just think that whoever we're dealing with knows of how we do our job and are trying to purposefully avoid us. I think we're dealing here with some very smart criminals.
That's very true. I'm glad you don't think that poorly of me, George.
Why would I?
Apparently I managed to get your girlfriend abducted. Or I failed to prevent your girlfriend from being abducted.
Well, the important part is that she's safe. And that you did everything. Wait, did you say girlfriend?
Yes. Is she not?
Come now, George. Don't be coy. We've seen you two.
I'm sorry, was this supposed to be...
Well, apparently the sheriff has some money riding on it, so I would
I reckon-
appreciate if you would just keep it on the down low.
Sheriff betting with Mr. Coldwater again.
Yep.
I'm entirely okay with not answering any questions, and I have no knowledge of anything that has happened. Doctor, you might want to be prepared if my dear friend George here gets shot by Mr. Coldwater.
I fully intend to go meet Mr. Coldwater and ask him for his blessing and all that.
You're going to ask for her hand this early?
No, just a blessing to make sure he doesn't shoot me in the back while I'm spending time with Maisie.
I don't think the back is where he would shoot you.
Yeah, that might be a bit of a problem down the line.
Probably. I'm sure that you'll be able to work it out. He told you himself that he was okay with you walking her home the other night from that poker game.
Yeah, but that's different. I'm a town deputy. It would have been my job to escort anyone that needed escorting that night.
Very true, George, very true. He will turn to the doctor and say, and not so subtly hand the doctor a $5. This is for when he gets shot in the ass.
I mean, what's the 5 for that I don't pull the bullet out?
I just figure I'll cover the cost of the laudanum.
And I'll tuck the 5 in my pocket and say, I'm sure when he does get shot, he will be appreciative.
I'm sure he will.
You're all
you
laughing
plan?
right now, but he's gonna crit me and I'm gonna die from that wound.
He's not going to create. Well, I can't say that. You never know. You could have a conversation before he shoots you in the ass.
I invest in metal plates.
On your butt?
Yeah. Just think.
Well, it'll go with the assless chaps. Sorry, I'm okay. So, do you have a plan then, George? What would you like to do? How would you like to handle this?
Well, first we're gonna go speak with Taggart,
All right.
see if he knows anything. Because here's the thing: there were no sign of forced entry inside the general store. The back door was unlocked, so it means that anyone who came in had a key or knew how to pick a lock. So we're gonna make sure that we round out all the people that have a key and that know where Miss Coldwater would have been that night.
And then round up the usual suspects.
And then round up the usual suspects.
All right. I'll follow your lead on this, George.
Also to Quentin, because I'm seeing what's being written in the private chat. Yes, but he's a deputy. Like, he's supposed to be trustworthy.
He's an NPC deputy.
So?
With curses by proxy.
I have an out of game question for the deputy. Is he going to tell his coworker that his name isn't George?
No. Not yet. But just because Robert doesn't... I've been Georged for so long that I don't go about telling people that, oh, by the way, that's not my name.
No, that's entirely fine. It was purely an informational question for the keeper's knowledge.
Yep.
In understanding what's going on, or purely for communication going either way. That's all it was. So, you guys are going to go back to the saloon and find Taggart. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Edmund will follow Robert's lead in this.
George.
So, George is leading this.
All right.
By this point, it's getting dark. Sunset is happening, and Twilight's shadows are stretching across the street as you move yourselves north from the jail to the saloon. Hear the sounds of the piano inside as people get off work and start making their way to have themselves a small imbibement.
Father, before we
Yes.
go into the saloon, because I realize that night's fallen, I think it'd be wise if we help Mr. Reed tonight in making the rounds. Try to keep an eye out on anything that might be suspicious.
Specifically around Macy's place?
I would say specifically around everywhere. It might just be that whoever did that to Maisie targeted Maisie first because she was just, happenstance. They were around the general store, they were able to do it. Maybe they want to mark the symbols somewhere else.
That does make some sense. I will stay up tonight as well.
Dr. Anders, you want to make the rounds with us tonight?
I have no problem with that.
I may need some coffee, though.
Are you saying this so Edmund can hear?
Not the part about the symbols.
Okay.
I would say more if Edmund wasn't here.
No, but I'll turn to Edmund and let him know that tonight we're going to help you with the rounds, cover more ground, see if we can't find anything.
I'd say get a couple hours sleep. I'll wake you at 10 or 11. We can trade off and work through then. But you've been up all day. And we don't need... Well, you might be better rested.
Oh, we still need to go speak to Mr. Taggart first.
That's what I'm saying. After this, why don't you get at least a couple hours before you...
That might be a good thing.
And then I'll have Thomas with me at least for the beginning. And I'll see if Ben's around. Maybe he'll be willing to help me for the early part of the evening. Apparently he's made himself quite popular at Lady Goodnight's.
All right. Let's go see Sam Taggart.
All right. You'll walk into the saloon, and Bruce Taggart is holding court in...
Sorry, I called him Sam.
I figured. Just, Bruce Taggart is holding court behind the bar and greeting everybody that comes in. Music is playing, and you hear rousing piano. You see a couple people in the back corner having a peaceable poker game. It seems much more like a friendly game than actual money being exchanged in hands. Couple of the miners or ranch hands are sitting at tables getting progressively drunk. These are the kind of guys that, are there not to blow off steam, but to forget something. And Bruce Taggart smiles as you walk in. Gentlemen, I have the best for you all. What can I get you? What can I make your day with today?
Water will be fine for me. I cannot speak for my friends.
I'm just gonna have a beer. Or... yeah, just a beer. We're on business.
A beer for the deputy, a water for the priest. I'm sorry, Father. Are you still on that fasting thing? My apologies. I'm not real up on the religious life.
I understand. One day I shall enlighten you more, if you're willing.
I'm always willing to hear about enlightenment. It's a good deal about imbibing or drunken revelry, because, that's my stock in trade. And but at the same time as he's talking, he's pouring a water for you, sets that in front of you. You see him pull a beer for the deputy, slide that in front of him. Doctor, what can I get for you?
Oh, nothing from me today. I'm quite all right so far, Mr. Taggart. But thank you. I do appreciate the offer.
All right. What can I do for you fine gentlemen? You seem to have a look on your face like you need more than just my personal time and attention. And the beers and the alcohol.
You are reading us correct, Mr. Taggart. Could we perhaps have a moment of your time in private?
All right. Mickey, come on over here. Stand behind the bar. I got to have this conversation with these fine gentlemen. This way, gentlemen. Right this way. I hope everything is okay, deputy. Bring your drink. It's fine. Well, don't. We got better stuff in the back room. And he walks to the back room.
I'm going to stick the beer.
All right. Bruce Taggart leads you into the back room, the same back room that Maisie was searching the night of that poker game. The large, heavy desk again in the center of the room. Well, not center, but centered on the wall, far wall in the room. Low bookshelf off to one side and heavy safe behind it. So, and as you walk in, he closes the door and you hear the sounds from the saloon start to muffle. not fully blocked out, but just quieted. Gentlemen, what can I do you for? Oh, have a seat, gentlemen, have a seat. And you'll see that there are a number of armed, low, leather-backed chairs, those kind of captain's chairs you have. And he settles himself on the larger kind of wooden spitty chair that's behind the desk.
Mr. Taggart, Macy's store was broken into last night, but
What?
not
And you see him literally bolt out of this chair.
from forced entry. We were wondering, Macy asked us if we could see the key you have of hers.
Key? Of course I have a key to that store. I've had a key to that. And is she all right? And he's like pulling open drawers and, literally slamming things around. He reaches in and he pulls out a ring of keys on his big, heavy iron keys. There are 3 or 4 of them. One, you would notice, matches the one that you have in your hand. Or you have been given by Maisie. Deputy.
Well, damn, he has the key.
Of course I have this key. Why would I let anybody have that? I've had that key for years. Robert Coldwater gave it to me.
We
Make
were
sure that I could restore.
we're trying to keep account of all of them. It appears that her back door was open when they broke in.
They broke. What is she all right? Is Maisie all right?
Maisie's all right. She was found in your feed shed in back of your saloon.
Who was in my?
Well, I don't know who was in your feed shed, but at least Maisie was in there. Someone dumped her in there in the middle of the night.
Is there anything? And she. I should go over there right now.
You should. Wait, Bruce. We have a couple questions, and then you can do whatever you like. Did you see anybody suspicious last night at the saloon?
No, there were a couple miners got a little rowdy and pour them another drink. They were fine. Nobody suspicious last night. How?
Did you, by any chance, have any people you didn't recognize?
No. It's my job to recognize everybody. Everybody comes into my saloon at some time. The only people I don't recognize on side are people who come in on the stage, and they want no stage.
And were there any of the Bradford boys in here?
Mr. Billows has been in and out all week. Pretty sure he was here last night, and who maybe a couple of the ranch hands, but not anybody important, or anybody I really would say would be, yeah, most of the folk last night, there were a couple miners, and Billows was in last night, and of course Edmund and Thomas, but they're always here and in and out, and Sam Harris was in here. He's one of those Bradford boys. Remember, you locked him up, deputy, for that brawl the other day, last week.
That.
But he wasn't in here long, maybe early in the evening, about 6, 7 o'clock, and then he decided to go have himself a better time, if you get my meaning.
I figure he crossed the street.
Indeed he does.
All right. Well then. I don't have any other questions for you, Bruce. If you see anybody suspicious, just let us know.
Will do. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go over and see Maisie and make sure she's all right.
Um,
Well, she's actually resting right now, Miss Taggart, the doctor's orders and all.
All right. Are you gonna go tell her parents, deputy, or you want me to go do that? Maybe I should go get her mama.
no, I'm gonna tell the parents, because we need to go talk to Robert anyway.
Have fun. Don't get shot.
Why is everybody telling me not to get shot by Robert Coldwater? I mean, I'm just doing my job as a deputy right now. I'm not talking about any of my personal business.
What about your personal business? I was just talking about you're gonna walk up to Robert Coldwater and tell him his baby girl got abducted. Why else would he shoot you, deputy?
No particular reason, Taggart.
He gives you that side eye.
I give him a side eye. Y'all have yourself a good day, Mr. Taggart.
Have a good one, deputy. And as you walk, he opens the door for you, and as you walk out, he kind of slams it shut, and you hear through, kind of muffled through the door, him open something and kind of the clink of glass and bottles.
Alright, so Nellie Connors or Robert Coldwater?
Your choice, gentlemen.
The both would have different information. Nellie would mayhaps provide us if she saw riders last night. Coldwater would confirm if his key is missing.
Well, Mr. Coldwater lives on the outskirts of town, and Nellie lives around here, so we might start with Nellie first and then question Mr. Coldwater later. Not that I want to avoid getting shot in the ass, but...
Yes, that does make sense. Perhaps we should go see Miss Connors.
Miss Connors' house is around the, well, if you're looking at it, she also had at one point resided. Now, admittedly, this is not where she's over here on the east side of town. And her property is outside of town, but that's the house that she lived in for the most part.
Then let's go.
All right. It is definitely no longer twilight. The stars are coming out, and the moon is rising. The light shining from it is going to tell you that it's probably going to be a beautiful full moon tomorrow night. You walk up the door to Miss Connors' abode, you'll see the shutters are drawn, the doors closed up. Her garden out front is still pristine. The window box has some beautiful autumn marigolds in it.
I knock on her door.
There is absolutely no answer.
I thought this might happen. She might be too far asleep to answer our call.
Well then, do we take some time off and then do what we've mentioned earlier and patrol the town at night? And then we'll question Nellie and Robert tomorrow.
Yes, I think that is a good plan for going forward.
So Edmund will pipe up and, all right then, I'll let you get some rest, gentlemen, and I'll inform the sheriff that we're suspicious folk about and we need to be more vigilant, so you are going to join me on an later evening patrol. Is that acceptable, George?
Yeah, we could just deputize Father Makarov and Dr. Anders.
We can. Does the father have a gun?
Somewhere, yes. I can't say I've shot it much.
It's like rusty and there's a bullet jammed in the cannon.
I'm gonna. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he's too British to say it, but it's all over his face of like, I'm going to stand behind the priest so I don't get shot. Kind of look on his face.
Alright, gentlemen, you've been deputized. Welcome to the law enforcement body of Four Corners. I'm sure there should be a ceremony or something, but I don't even have a tin star for you. Don't abuse your authority.
All of my dreams are coming true. Thank you, Robert.
Now I'm gonna change the overlay for everyone. Like, everyone's gonna be called the deputy.
Who's Robert?
The deputy.
Oh. Hi.
George, is there something you'd like to share with me?
It's a long story, but just know that, my actual real name is Robert Stone.
Not the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Do you wish me to call you Robert, or do you wish me to call you George?
Either. I've been George for a long time, so I still respond to George from time to time. But Robert's my real name.
Is this something I should not mention to the sheriff?
No, the sheriff's aware of it. He,
Is this something I shouldn't mention to Thomas?
Nah, I don't mind. Really, I was George. Well, you remember the bad things that happened with, Miss Lovelace in town?
Vividly.
Well then, that was the whole reason why I went by the name George Brooke.
Alright then. If you all get some rest, I'll awaken you in a short while. So we're gonna wind the clock forward a little bit.
Don't sleep. I read the book.
So you retire to your place of your abode to read the book. Doctor, Father, I'm assuming you're retiring to your abodes.
Yes.
Most definitely sleep.
As you're reading through this book and settling in to do so, George, you hear a very soft knock on your door.
I'm busy.
It repeats a little bit firmer.
He's still busy.
I close the book, I hide it in my dresser, and I go open the door.
Maisie's standing at the door.
Fuck! I blush a bit. I'm like, Maisie?
What are you wearing, George?
George is still dressed up. He just lied down in his bed and read a book.
Please let me the next words out of your mouth. It's not what it looks like.
She's not even worried about that at the moment. She's holding the key that you gave her, and she says, I didn't feel safe at my house. You said I could stay here for tonight.
Yes, please, come in, Miss Coldwater. Like I said, you can have my bed. It might be a bit warm. I was napping in it, but it's yours, and, I'll just get my, the bedroll I normally have on my horse when I travel for a while, and I'll put it on the floor.
Thanks for being here, Robert.
No problem, Maisie. That's what I'm here for. You need anything, you let me know.
Just you to be there.
I'm gonna hold her hand and say, I plan on being there for you for a long time, Maisie.
I hope so. And she'll kind of squeeze your hand for a second, and then just kind of half blush, and then shake her head and like step on tiptoes and kiss you on the cheek.
He turns into it.
And behind him, we see the priest as he pushes him and turns him into it.
Yeah. The father is out the window. I think Livy has it with the off the table emote, and the priest is just lifting a sign that says "smooch."
I'm outside the window, softly playing a violin.
All right. And then she'll just go, do you do anything in response?
I blush, and I'll look Maisie in the eyes,
Say what?
and I'll say, "I love you, Maisie Coldwater."
That's right, nice. Robert Stone. Glad. I love you too.
And I'm gonna lean in for another kiss. Well, to kiss her.
She'll let you. And then she'll just go lie down. Do you go to sleep? Or do you read this book?
Well, no, not with Maisie here. I promised her I wouldn't do it. But I will probably just eye the dresser from time to time.
As you're...
Damn it.
I need you, as you're eyeing this dresser, to roll me a powers check.
It's complete failure.
It is a complete failure. As you're glaring at this powers check, you feel your eyes start to get heavy. And you kind of nod off, and you feel kind of jerk yourself awake a couple times, but eventually you kind of nod off. And you're dreaming, and you know you're dreaming, but what you see is your room. And you see Maisie asleep, and you kind of see the door open, and a figure emerges from the door, and standing there in the center of your room is a younger Jane Langley. Her hair is down and long, dark, black curls. She's wearing a bright lilac and white summer dress. She's smiling. Her eyes are kind, almost. You see a cross around her neck.
What are you doing here, Jane?
Don't worry, I'm not staying. I like her. She's good for you. Thought I'd come say thank you.
I didn't do much. I shot you in the face.
Yeah, you did. It was real helpful, though. That book ain't real kind.
I sort of understood that, but I believe it is our key to defeating whatever evil is in Four Corners.
That's a choice you're gonna have to make for yourself. I made a choice to use it to try and get what I wanted when nothing else would give me what I needed. It didn't work out for me.
I would have given you much if you had come with me that night.
Robert, I was already gone by that night.
I figured.
It was the closest I'd been for a while to be insane, but I hadn't been for years by the time I met you.
Well, to be fair, the entire Langley's gang was a bit on the edge, yeah.
That is a very true statement. You mind if I sit down?
No, go right ahead.
And she kind of floats and sits down on a small stool next to your bed. Looks over at Maisie. I really do like her. She's much better for you than I would have been. But, no, George, by the time I met you, I had been broken for a while. The war broke us all. Some were just more easy to see in their shattered states.
I have to agree with you on that.
Be careful with what you're planning, George. Or Robert, or whatever you want to call yourself.
You can call me by my real name, Jimmy Bob. Sorry, I just wanted to see the face of the other players.
She snorts at that and goes, "No, I know that's not your name, Robert. Pleasant conversations you have on this side. All sorts of interesting folk you meet.
A
But
lot
be
of bad
careful.
ones.
Not any more than you'll meet on that side. But be careful, Robert Stone. I may have been gone, but I still managed to be useful for a time. They know that you're there. And they know that you're the one that stopped me from being as useful as they needed.
Who's that they?
Folks of a more serpentine nature.
Dang it. I thought we had seen the last of them.
Oh, I don't really think that's the way this works. They want something. Not quite sure what it is. There's something that they need. Maisie probably knows. It's round in her head. Or the doc. They need to let something out. But they're not quite sure how that's going to work. But it shouldn't get out.
Well, whatever it is, I intend on stopping them.
I wish you all the luck, Robert Stone. And she kind of stands up and moves forward towards you and rests her hand against your cheek, and it feels cold and wet almost. Good luck. You won't see me again, because you promised a sweet girl sleeping in your bed that you weren't going to mess with anything, right? And she just fades from view, and you kind of wake up, and you realize you're waking up, and there's a sound at the door of knocking at your door.
Yep, I'm awake. I'm awake. Reed, that you?
Yes. Robert, you ready?
That I am. Give me a minute.
All right. I think there's. Might want to hurry. I think. Come behind the livery as soon as you can. And you hear him run down the stairs.
All right.
Doctor,
Yes.
as you make your way to your office that evening to get some shut eye before you are required to be helpful. You'll notice two things right off.
Mm.
It's quiet in your office. The lights are dark. But your sister's sitting in the front room waiting for you.
And that's so everything's quiet. It's just her.
Mhm.
Okay. And I'll come in and well, good evening, Isabel.
Drake, sorry, I sat down to take a break for a moment and then must have dozed off. How are you? And she stands up, kind of brushes her skirts off, and can I get you something to eat? It seems a little late apparently, but supper I still have some if you desire.
No, actually, I've got something for you from Geraldine. She wanted to introduce herself, but she'd not had a chance to make her way over. And I'll set the package on the table.
Who's that? And she goes to kind of like undo the twine and open the brown paper.
Geraldine Marsden, the local school teacher.
Oh, you'll have to introduce me later. Oof,
Certainly.
sorry, just got a little lightheaded for a second. What could this be?
And is she still pale? Is she still showing symptoms of something?
Oh, yes. She's actually paler than she was this afternoon. You don't even have to have a medical check on that one.
Right. And based on that, I mean, what could it be symptoms of?
It could be symptoms of a number of things. Anemia, flu. I mean, you'd have to do like an actual medical examination to figure out more.
Okay.
Mm.
Then how have you been feeling, Isabel?
Just tired, just a little tired. Oh, this is so nice. And she kind of opens up, and it's this beautiful handmade quilt in kind of white with what look like interlocking rings around the outside. If anyone's ever seen a wedding ring quilt, kind of looks like that. With but they're in green shades of green in the rings and little gold etching on the inside. This will be so nice.
And
I don't
based on her answer, I want to.
and she passes out.
Oh. All right. And immediately I'll rush over and check for a pulse.
Oh, her pulse is there. It's a little fast.
She feverish or anything?
Not feverish, a little clammy, almost cold.
I'd like to do a medicine check and see what's going on here. Oh,
Critical success. If you did not know any better, you would be convinced that she was bleeding. But there's no visible signs of blood. There are no lacerations, no open wounds, nothing of that nature. You go and I'm assuming you would attempt to palpitate her abdomen. There's no signs of internal bleeding of anything.
Right.
Her heart rate is raised, but with that critical success, you would notice behind her left ear something that looked like a bug bite.
And I want to take a look at that. What exactly does it look like? So I mean, is it?
I mean, to your knowledge and everything that you've seen, it looks like a mosquito bite, but it's a little red and irritated, and not bleeding. It doesn't look red like somebody scratched at it. It just looks like, you know, when somebody has that allergic reaction to a mosquito bite or something, that kind of
Right.
nature.
Let me get her up off the floor and onto a table.
She starts rousing as you do so. Drake, is there something wrong?
Lay down. You need to rest. Don't move.
I'm not moving. I'm just resting.
Just lay there. There's something. Has anything happened to you? Anything out of the ordinary? Spiders? Anything?
No.
You've got a mark behind your ear, Isabel,
Oh.
and I'm not
Oh.
certain as to what's going on.
She starts kind of pressing at it. Oh, there is some.
And I'll grab her hand and keep it off of.
Oh,
I don't need you to irritate this any further. I just need you to lay down.
laying down. Apparently, can I at least lay down in a bed? This is unsanitary to be on this table.
That's fine, and I'll help her over.
Thank you.
Gonna need, as much as it pains me, I'm gonna have to have someone come take a look at this, aside from myself.
Well, who, Drake? I don't understand. I mean,
This doesn't
You're
look
talking-
very normal, so I would like to consult a colleague.
if you think that's the best course of action, I guess.
I do. Lie down. Take it easy. I'll be back momentarily. I need to go
Calm
see
down.
Dr. Adams.
Drake. And she'll reach out and grab your wrist. Drake,
Yes.
calm down. I'm gonna be fine.
I will certainly make sure of that.
I'm going to be fine.
I won't let anything happen to you.
As you walk out the door, you see. Well, where are you headed?
Probably heading up towards the saloon. That is where Dr. Adams is staying.
This is true. The good Dr. Adams is, last you saw, either at the saloon or Lady Goodnight's, and since they're right across the street from each other, it's right easy to find. As you do so, you see Edmund Reed banging on the deputy's door. Can't quite make out what he's saying, but it's very obvious who it is in the lantern light at the door frame. You see him kind of turn and look off towards the livery and just kind of hammer on the door and run down the stairs. And a few moments later, the deputy emerges. Where are you going, Deputy Stone?
Well, didn't Reed come and pick me up?
Well, he was hammering on the door. You never opened it, and then he
Oh.
said, "Meet me at the livery stable."
Yeah. At the livery stable.
All right. So you would see the deputy run down the stairs towards the livery stable. You're still going up to get Dr. Adams? Dr. Andis?
Yes.
All right. Deputy, as you come around behind the livery stable, you see Edmund cursing and fires off a shot.
Edmund, what's going on?
Get hit! Can you not see? And he's pointing at a figure running down behind.
And that's the one that he was shooting at?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna
And,
take aim and shoot.
okay. You take aim and fire. Go ahead and roll it. See what happens. I have a question for you before you roll this, deputy. Have you fixed your gun?
Fixed my gun?
Since you used as a flamethrower? And then it malfunctioned? Did you clean it? Or
Yeah.
anything of that?
I would have. Honestly,
Yeah.
Simon forgot about it. But George wouldn't forget about it. But it's up to you.
Yep. No, that was purely an informational. Yes, you had an extra day in between, so
Okay.
did you? Yes. All right, move on.
And it's an extreme success.
You fire and hit something hard, and you see it kind of the shadows, whatever figure you were shooting at, jerk and fall forward further into the darkness out of your line of sight.
And I'll run off after it.
Get up there, you see a figure, something that looked a little odd. You see the remains of a heavy leather duster and a hat and leather chaps and the slow oozing and, well, what looks like what happens when you put something in a vat of acid.
Ooh.
As it kind of dissolves away. You would be reminded, sir, of that snake-like individual that you done shot the other night. Or was shot the other night by Jane. Robert, did you get him?
I think I did.
Good. I need you to call the doc. I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, well, I want to take a look. Is it dying?
It's dissolving.
Ew.
I mean, you're pretty sure like the leather's still there, and whatever it was is smoking and kind of dissolving like you would in one of those pellets from the Easter dye packs that you put in vinegar and it kind of, or baking soda and vinegar, kind of bubbling and oozing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You make a strong guess that it's not alive.
All right. Can you give me a second? Something is crying downstairs.
Yep. Doctor,
Yes,
you're off to find Dr. Adams.
that is correct.
Off to find the hashtag best doctor.
Yeah.
All right then. Where So, where are you going to try? The saloon or Lady Goodnight's?
I will probably try his room at the saloon first.
Roll me a luck roll. Ooh,
Extreme success.
You are lucky the gentleman is in his room at the saloon. He kind of opens the door and cocks an eyebrow at you. Dr. Anders.
Dr. Adams,
Pleasant.
I will skip pleasantries. I need your expertise, your extensive expertise. My sister, she seems to be suffering from some sort of a bite, but not something of the natural order. That
Well, of
seems a
course,
bit.
I'll be right. Of course. And he'll
Yeah.
reach down and grab his bag and his stick, cane, and walk after you.
I know. I expeditiously just rush back towards my office.
Striding with purpose. That New Yorker's walk, not focused on anything but getting from point A to point B.
That is correct.
And he will follow immediately. And as you return to your office, you'll see your sister exactly where you left her. But the quilt that she had opened on the table is now spread out on the bed.
Did you put this down? I
I don't know
asked
what
you.
you're asking, Drake. I'm
asked
right
you
where you
to
left
stay.
me.
I understand. This isn't a game, Isabel. I need you to listen.
I always listen to you, Drake.
Yes, after a few times you do.
I listen just as much as you do listen to me.
I wouldn't expect anything less. I brought Dr. Adams. I wanted him to take a look at that spot behind your ear.
Good evening, madam. I apologize for this. Your Dr. Anders, is there something? Could you just give me the takeaway as I'm doing this? And he walks up and just kind of slightly
Certainly.
turns her head and starts looking. And
I arrived back and had given Isabel this gift from Miss Marston, and well, she opened it, and the next thing I know, she had seemed a bit pale and had passed out onto the floor. Almost appeared as if she were suffering from blood loss, but there weren't any.
and he'll kind of look around and look at look at you for a second. I could make a recommendation on appropriate things to improve your iron count, madam. If you give me a moment, I have something in one of my books. Dr. Anders, would you step over here? And he's kind of reaching into his bag and flipping through the book.
Certainly.
And he kind of opens it, and it's not a medical text that you're used to. In fact, it's not any printed text that you would consider. It looks like a handwritten journal. The languages are, again, 6 or 7 different languages on this page, but there's a drawing in it of a small red thing. Kind of looks like a dust mote with little tentacles on it, and see that there are a number of them on this page, and kind of a remains of a rough sketch of an individual, very pale. Kind of think this might be the best course of action, and he's pointing at this small red. It looks to you a lot like the small red items that were floating around the Bradfords.
And I've seen these before.
Yes, the hazard. Yeah, they get quite everywhere. They seem to swarm individuals, or he kind of leans over to you. They also can be called by individuals.
I'm sorry, called?
Summoned.
I'm aware of the term, Doctor. I am just not aware of the practice, is all. I'm not. I mean, possibly. Who could possibly summon these things? Is this something you're familiar with, or?
I can't do it. That's the maybe phrase that I've never tried. Wouldn't know how. But I do know that they weaken one's constitution and seem to be almost vampiric in nature. I can treat it like I did with Miss Maisie.
If we can, I wonder, maybe Robert might have an idea.
At that, we're going to cut over to Robert. As the camera pans over. You're still looking at a dissolving body, and the remains of leather, and Edmund Reed has called and says, I need you to go get the doc. Robert, I don't know how to help these two.
Which two?
These two! And he gestures, and apparently there are two gentlemen laying at his feet.
Who are, like, I'll just look real quick. Do I recognize them?
Not, well, you can't really see their faces. It's dark and they're lying prone on the ground, but their clothes kind of give the impression that they might be miners of some sort.
Okay.
You would, in that quick glance, notice, well, roll me a spot hidden.
Sure thing. Also, do I lose any sanity for seeing someone dissolve, or has this been common occurrence enough that we're good with it now?
You literally saw this particular dissolving of a snake-like person before, so no.
Okay.
You do not have sanity on this one.
Fail my spot hidden.
You fail the spot hidden, so you don't see.
I'm going to push
Exactly.
the roll.
You're going to push the roll.
Yeah.
Yay. How are you going to push the roll? How are you going to change the circumstances?
Instead of going straight to go see the doctor, I will, as I'm staring at the bodies, just walk closer to them, which means that I'll lose some precious time, and the doctor might get there too late, because the body will keep dissolving during that time. Like, I'm not listening to Enman at the moment.
Okay. So the body behind you is definitely going to dissolve before anybody else can get there, but whatever.
He pushes it again, but this time he removes a leg.
No, but walking closer, you notice something. This is an easy thing because you're standing there, and Edmund, this isn't about something that's hidden, because it's kind of obvious once you've walked closer. One of these four individuals, their right arm seems to be turning, like you're wringing water out of dishcloth.
Wait.
And it's just twisting and twisting.
Is that... knowing what I know about the spells that I've learned, does this seem similar to what Rack would do?
No.
Okay.
But it looks... No, unfortunately it doesn't. But it does look similar. It looks like a spell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't look like someone broke his arm and...
No, it literally looks like somebody's taking a dish rag and doing this with it.
All right, doctor. I'm going, and then I'm going.
As you, well, run back for the doctor, knocking on his door. Dr. Anders, there's a firm knock at your door.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of guy getting dish rag.
Wow. Don't quit the day job. Who's there? I'm in the middle of something.
It's me, doctor. This is Robert.
Robert, come in. I'm in the middle of something.
We got a problem.
That seems to be a common occurrence right now. What's going on?
I just shot a
Okay.
snake person.
And you just see,
And it needs medical attention?
and
Adam's in the room.
did you say? You just hear from the bed on the other side of the room.
I just shot a snake that bit a person.
Oh, Drake, why are you still standing here? Go see what's going on.
His arm is pretty mangled, doctor. Not the snake, but the person.
Well, I know that snakes don't have arms.
Go. What are you still? I'll be fine. Dr. Adams and I can have a wonderful conversation. Go.
Is that all right, Dr. Adams?
I'll be happy to keep your charming sister company. She has wonderful stories about you.
I'm certain she does. I expect you to be in your best behavior.
I don't know why you would think I would be otherwise.
Think of about 5,000 reasons.
I'm the nice one.
Now, that's fine, and I'll leave with George or Robert, whoever he is this week.
And
Yes.
I'm going to bring the doctor to the scene, but then I'm gonna leave and go find Father Makarov.
All right, so you're gonna leave and go find Father Makarov. I'm assuming you're just running up the street to the church. That shouldn't take you very long to go and break down his door. Dr. Anders, would you like to roll what would you like to roll for the two gentlemen laying at the feet of Edmund Reed as he's mildly panicking?
Are these unnamed NPCs?
Well, no one's actually ascertained their identity yet.
So these are physical corpses that are not disintegrating, or they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
The gentleman that Robert shot is a ways down, and well, I could just. So if we were to do this. Hold on. Why is this not working?
What is?
I'm assuming she's trying to ping the map.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a thing and it ain't working. Alright. There we go. Hold on. Nope, that's not working either. There we go. Nope, that didn't work. Well, we're here. You're literally right here. I'll fix it later. You're right here.
Yeah. Did you do the erase all drawings?
No.
Okay.
Just roll 20 is being roll 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the only thing left on the map right now, it's the words of awesomeness.
There. Okay, you can all see that, right?
That's where the church is.
Can't see anything.
She was pinging behind the livery stable, so I know the general area we're in.
Yeah, no problem.
There we
Oh.
go.
Everything is back.
Yay.
But yeah, behind the livery stables.
There is literally, I put this here, there's a red cross right here. But apparently that's not working. There's, right behind the livery stable, there's 2 gentlemen on the ground. One of whom, it's very obvious right away that his arm is being wrung out like a dishcloth.
Now, is he still alive?
That you're going to need a medical check for.
I can do that. Hard success.
As you're looking at him, you'll notice that this is not the first limb that's been
Wrung out.
wrung out.
Oof.
And you can kind of see that it looks like his torso had the same problem.
Oh, then yeah, this guy's deceased.
If he's not now, he will be in the next couple seconds. But it was very obvious that this individual was alive for an extended period of time while he became Dishcloth Man.
Is this someone from town that we would know, or is this just...
This looks to be like one of the miners. He's a younger individual. I don't know if you know him by name, but you definitely recognize him by sight. His friend sitting next to him, are you gonna do anything with him?
Yeah, so is he still conscious, or is he also suffering
Oh.
the same fate?
He's not suffering the same fate, but he's definitely no longer conscious. Anything more, you'd have to roll medicine on him on.
Alright, I'll check him as well. Hard success.
He's bleeding from somewhere, but you can't see where. You see a couple of lacerations that have that long taloned hook on him, but the blood isn't there.
And Reed's still standing here, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's mildly freaking out
Oh.
in a very proper and British way of doing so.
So he's just saying, "Oh my."
It's like, doctor, is there, what do you need? How can I help?
Edmund, I'm going to tell you this, and I want you to listen very carefully. Look around for, and this is going to sound absurd, I don't care what it sounds like, just do as I'm asking.
Of course, doctor.
You're looking for something that's, I don't remember how big those things were that were at the...
They were at least 6 or 7 feet tall.
Oh, it's one of those. It's... Oh. Ew.
Go look for it.
So go look for something invisible.
Well, no, it's not invisible. If it's feeding, remember, they're red.
That's true.
Remember, once they're feeding, you're able to see them. But hell, how... Oh.
Go find a
Go-
red tentacle monster.
Go find a red tentacle monster.
Spaghetti, if you will.
There's something around. It's going to be rather large, and it's going to be red. Probably almost like pulsating. Find it. If you do, shoot it.
Of course, doctor. And
Immediately.
He lifts the shotgun, and you get the impression, you don't even have to roll this, that he is very happy to take a direction now, to have something to do, because he does not understand what is happening in front of him. And he shot the individual that was running away, missed. Well, didn't really miss. He kind of missed, but George did more damage. Robert, you and the priest, what's going on?
Father? Father? Father!
Yes. Coming. Robert, is it you? It's
Yeah,
time.
It's more than time, Father. I just shot a snake person.
Already?
Why, yes. Not before they did some damage to 2 of the miners.
All right, one second, and I'll put. I guess I fell asleep in my robes. They're probably not that uncomfortable to sleep in, so yeah, I'll come out of my room.
All right.
Please, Robert, lead the way.
And I'll lead him back, all the way back the main street to the livery stables.
Coming around the corner, you see Edmund Reed looking very diligently up and down with a shotgun in his hand, but he's not seeing anything. He's like, the doctor said there might be something else here. Robert, I'm going to...
What did the doctor say?
Well, he's standing right there. Ask him. Apparently it's red. I don't understand. And he's going to start walking across the street towards the jail, looking as if he's looking.
I'm going to glance at Robert. The Banks Ranch. That's what we're looking for.
All right.
Don't let him go alone.
I'll go with Edmund.
I'll stay with the doctor.
And I think that's the best place to end it for tonight. With the doctor and the priest dealing with 2 victims on the ground in the dock. And our 2 deputies trying to find something in the dock that they can't see.
Yeah, like fading shot. Which couple are the red eyes staring at?
Neither.
Oh crap! They're getting Macy.
They're gonna get
GG
Macy
boys.
again. Yeah, Jesus.
We buggered up already.
Sorry, Kelly.
No.
To posthumously apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna come back and yell at us. Ready?
Yep. Well then. That was Go West. That was another episode of Go West. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks for doing all the silly things in chat. Thanks for watching. Thank you both, Quentin and Scott, for playing. Thank you, Deirdre, for keeping us insane. I am Simon at Wandering DM. You can find me on Twitter at Wandering_DM or here on Twitch every Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays for, in order, D&D 5e Dark Matter, so sci-fi D&D, and then Thursdays is Keep on the Shadowfell, so classic D&D 5th edition. We're playing 4th edition module that we've converted to 5th. On Fridays, it's Castle Falkenstein. If you want to see some Lady Sherlock Holmes and a bumbling wizard, tune in for that on Fridays. And then Saturdays here for Pulp Cthulhu. And otherwise, you can find me on Sundays on Soul Bear RPG playing in Shatterdie, and on Mondays DMing Age of Arcana over on Role Players. And that's it for me. I'll leave the mic up to, let's start with our priest. Where can we find you, and did you have fun?
Of course, I always have fun. Simon, thanks for inviting me. Deirdre, thanks for doing all this crazy stuff for me. It's great. I love it every week. Yeah, on Twitter, I'm at Thragon. I just like D&D posts and retweet some of them. That's really, I don't post much. And then, yeah, I'm also here for Keep on the Shadowfell on Thursdays. That's super fun. No idea what's going to happen. We might, wipe next session, probably. Hard to say. Probably check that out. And yeah, and then here for Go West on Saturdays. I'll pass it over to one of the doctors.
The important one.
Wait, that's not me, right?
It is. See, sometimes you can get compliments.
I'm the important one. Thank you. So I'm Scott at Berserker Rage on Twitter. Sorry, Berserker_Rage on Twitter. You guys can find me here on Saturdays. doing the Go West thing. So thank you guys for having me. It's always a lot of fun, even if we're all slowly going insane. I do appreciate everything you guys do. You guys are fantastic. So you guys can sometimes find me on Twitch more often than not, just hanging out in all the different channels. So be sure to stop by and say hi.
And Deirdre, where can we find you?
Well, hello, all. You know me. I'm at Deirdre on Twitter or PaxGorthesmia4 as you see me hanging out in the Twitch chat. I am here every Saturday driving these fine folk mad. Sunday, I'm over on Soul Bear RPG for some Shattered Eye, and this week it is thank you Entangle for keeping things mostly under control. Hashtag love your bards. To Monday over on Role Players for some Age of Arcana fun. I made pie last week, and apparently making pie made me the worst person in the party. I have no idea why anyone would think that. It's just a fruit pie. Tuesday we have Dark Matter, and then back here Friday I'm back here for some Castle Falkenstein as the hashtag Lady Detectives try and enjoy making the wonderful English wizard slightly less stuffy. But check my Twitter. I will always say where I'm going to be. I have all of the fun with this. I have so much fun with this.
All right, and on that note, we're gonna go raid our friends at Unmade Gaming. I think today's the
Charity stream.
The charity stream, the 24-hour charity stream. So if you feel generous, if you want to donate to help a good cause, or you just want to watch something fun, we'll go on Unmade Gaming and share the love. On that note, we will see you again next week for Go West. Ciao, everyone.